Hi, dear friend. I know full well that I'm releasing a video on this topic way too late, but still, I feel it's my duty to talk about it. So here's a little preview for you. In this video, we'll revisit COVID-19, talk about that situation with the ship. I'll explain what hantavirus is. We'll find out what the threat is to America, and we'll also compare COVID and hantavirus. Spoiler alert. There's no point in comparing them. All right, let's cut through all this panic and talk about the thing that's on everyone's lips right now, the Hanta virus. Why some people are calling it COVID-2 is beyond me. But since the conversation has already started, let's just compare them head to head right now. Picture this. December 2019. In Wuhan. Suddenly, the SARS-CoV-2 virus appears at the market. Doctors start seeing patients with this weird cough and ground glass opacities in their lungs. That's how the whole COVID-19 pandemic kicked off. This coronavirus looks like a crown with spikes all over it. It first jumped from bats to humans, and then it started spreading like wildfire between people. By January 2020, the virus was already flying around the world. On March 11th, the WHO declared a pandemic. The whole planet shut down. Masks, lockdowns, the works. Scientists managed to decode its genome in just months and created vaccines at record speed. The virus attacked the respiratory system, causing fever, cough, fatigue, and loss of taste and smell. For some, it was mild. For others, it turned into severe pneumonia. By 2026, there were over 779 million confirmed cases. But in the end, people won. Vaccines came out, Pfizer, Moderna, Sputnik 5, and others, and billions of doses were given. Today, COVID-19 is basically just another seasonal illness, like the flu. It keeps mutating, but it's become much milder. Yeah, that's exactly how it all went down. Funny, you've probably already forgotten what it feels like to breathe through a mask, huh? A luxurious cruise ship, the MV Hondius, leaves Ushuaia, Argentina, heading out into the Atlantic. Soon after, a hantavirus outbreak, the Andes strain, breaks out on board. The virus, which usually comes from rodents, first infected some passengers while they were still on land in South America. Then came the rare part. It started spreading from person to person right there on the ship. By May 2026, there were 11 cases and 3 deaths. The passengers were evacuated, and the ship was sent to the Canary Islands under WHO supervision.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
Videos leak online where someone is clearly freaked out, describing what's happening on the ship.
Happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home.
People start panicking, but even then, the WHO quickly shuts down the hysteria. This is nothing like COVID 2.0. It just so happened that this ship had exactly that very rare strain of the virus that can transmit between humans. And because of the close quarters on a cruise ship, 11 people got infected so quickly. The 3 who unfortunately died passed away from respiratory failure. Their illness had progressed to pneumonia, which is the late and dangerous stage. First of all, let's bust the myth right away. Hantavirus, or orthohantavirus, is not some new virus. It's been known to science for decades. It was discovered back in the 1970s and named after the Hantan River in Korea. It's a classic zoonosis, meaning it jumps from animals to humans, and in the vast majority of cases, it does not spread from person to person, except for that rare Andes strain on the cruise ship. That one's a real exception. You usually get infected through the air by breathing in tiny particles of dust that contain dried urine, droppings, or saliva from infected rodents. This often happens when people are cleaning out sheds, attics, garages, or basements. Hantaviruses are divided into two main groups: Old World, Europe, and Asia. These cause hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, HFRS, which people often call mouse fever. It mainly hits the kidneys. New World, the Americas. These cause hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS, which severely damages the lungs. The incubation period is quite long, from 1 to 8 weeks. The first symptoms are very similar to the flu: high fever, severe headache, muscle aches, fatigue, and sometimes nausea, vomiting, or stomach pain. In the more serious stages, it gets worse. Depending on the type, for the Old World version, Europe and Asia, HFRS, mouse fever, you get lower back pain, blood pressure drops, possible bleeding, and kidney damage. Urine output decreases sharply, oliguria, and then, if the person survives, it starts to recover. For the New World version, America's HPS, shortness of breath quickly gets much worse. Fluid builds up in the lungs, leading to respiratory failure and sometimes shock. There's no vaccine and no specific antiviral treatment. It's all supportive care. Doctors
Breath
treat
sounds
the
are stronger.
symptoms
Kidney
and
function
help
trending
the
up.
organs
I've
that are
initiated
under
the new
attack,
protocol.
lungs or kidneys. Fatality rate: 1 to 15% for the kidney form, but it can reach 30 to 50% for the pulmonary, lung form, even with modern medical care. I've already explained how you can catch hantavirus, so now let's talk about prevention with some practical tips. When cleaning places where mice or rats might have been, like sheds, attics, garages, or basements, always wear a mask and gloves. Do wet cleaning with disinfectants instead of dry sweeping, so you don't kick up infected dust. Never touch dead rodents with your bare hands. If you start feeling sick and get those flu-like symptoms we talked about, think back. Have you had any close contact with rodents recently? Make sure to tell your doctor right away. The earlier they know it might be hantavirus, the better chance they have of preventing the disease from getting into the dangerous stage. I think this stage is kind of pointless because these are completely different diseases. But for clarity, I made you this table so you can see the differences right here and now. In the United States, there are still no confirmed cases, but health authorities are currently monitoring around 41 people across 10-plus states: Nebraska, Arizona, California, Georgia, Texas, New Jersey, Virginia, and others. The risk for ordinary people is minimal. Here's a map so you can check it out and see for yourself. Some people are trying to hype up the panic and gain popularity from it. Always keep a clear head and check information from reliable sources. But that doesn't mean You can just relax and think everything's fine. Hantavirus is no joke. It's a dangerous virus. In America, according to the stats, roughly every second person who gets the serious lung version dies. So stay hygienic, wear a mask when cleaning dusty basements or sheds. Use this information as a practical guide and you'll be okay. By the way, I'll leave links to all the sources I used below the video. I'm not chasing clout or trying to blow this up for views. Honestly, this video is coming out pretty late for that anyway. Drop an honest like or dislike on this video. Any reaction from you matters to me. Don't forget to subscribe and feel free to write comments. I read every single one. Also, great idea. Drop your thoughts in the comments and suggest any topic you want me to explain. I'll try to break it down clearly and quickly for you.